Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and today we're going to talk about the newest album from Kaytranada, BUBBA. So Kaytranada is a DJ and producer who actually picked up some notoriety at the beginning of this decade with the release of a couple albums under the name Kaytradamus. He then changed his name in 2015 to Kaytranada officially, but he had picked up enough steam to get noticed by XL Recordings and signed on with them and released his debut, 99.9%. The vibe on 99.9% is pretty enjoyable and it's got some colorful production spots on it, but for some reason it just didn't really stick with me upon its release. But I mean, I did enjoy it and I was looking forward to what he would be doing next on a follow-up because I think he showcased a lot of raw talent as a producer. And here we are 3 years later finally with a follow-up, BUBBA, and it is certainly more of a somber, kind of moody feel to it. But yeah, I mean, whew, man, this album is super boring in my opinion. And you know, the more I listen to this album, the harder it is for me to pick out anything on it that sticks out as me as interesting. I mean, for one, the sound palettes on this release are just super bland. I mean, everything sounds watered down, honestly. I mean, take the track Puff La, for example. It's got this like skittery beat with this like twinkly melody that loops throughout it but gets stale about halfway through the track, which does only last like 2 minutes. And I mean, when this track kind of stops, not only does it kind of feel like a Flying Lotus demo, but it really has no point to exist in this album track list. And a little further into the album, we have the track Scared to Death, which is a little more interesting than some of the other ones. But I mean, when the beat drops on this track, I mean, it honestly just sounds like watered down Neon Indian to me. The only track on this record that actually kind of stuck out to me was The Worst in Me featuring Tanashi. I thought she gave one of the best vocal performances on the album, and the beat itself is a little more lively than the rest of the batch. But for the most part, over these 17 tracks, you are just hit with one mid-pace groove after another. And I mean, all the features on here kind of sound uninspired and flat. I mean, the middle of this record here is just a complete wash. I mean, I don't really recall any of it. Sounds like they're kind of doing some vocal riff or whatever sounded kind of interesting in the booth, and not only are you just dropped directly into one of these mid-pace grooves, but they stay in that mid-pace groove for the entirety of the track. But it's weird. I mean, the music on here I wouldn't call terrible or anything like that, but it really is just devoid of any type of like sticky hook or like memorable melody. And I mean, honestly, just the really bland sound palettes on here with the super linear song structures just isn't really doing much for me, unfortunately. And I mean, with that being said, I'm feeling a 5 over here on BUBBA. So if you're interested in picking this up on a physical release, Kaytranada actually does have this up on a double vinyl LP for pre-order on his website. I'm gonna leave a link down below if you guys are interested in scooping one of those. And as always, thank you for watching. If you want more content from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Peace.